listeners. My name is Dr. Neeraj. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to learn about in Python multiple conditions. In the previous video we talked about if statement, then if else, and then I also told you the importance of indentation. So if you've not seen those videos, I recommend that you go through that once before you start with this new one. So now today we are going to talk about multiple conditions. If there are multiple conditions, how can we address that in Python? So we have something called as if statements. That means there are multiple conditions over here. If there are multiple conditions, so how do we format it? How do we structure it? How do we write the code? So basic logic in this is that if all the conditions are not true, then only the else part will be executed. Otherwise, if any condition above else is true, that particular block which is relevant to the condition will be executed. So let us take an example. We have a notebook over here. So I have initialized the variable x is equal to 10 if condition is there, then else if condition is there. So if all the else if conditions, if there can be another else if also. Like for example, else if x equal, equal to 0 colon print p is not big, x is 0. So now let us take example x is initially all these else if statements. If all the statements, this one, all these if statements are false, then only this else part will be executed, this part. Otherwise not. Otherwise that particular condition if is met, that particular block will be executed. As simple as that. So why we are having this? Because we have many conditions. That's why we have else if. If we have only one condition, we can use if else, the one which I told you earlier. But what if the conditions are more than one conditions? Is maybe some validation is happening, more than one validation is there. So we are trying to have multiple conditions here. Now let's say x is equal to 10. So is 10 greater than 10 less than 5? No, it's false. Condition is false. It goes to next. Is 10 equal to 10? Yes, x is exactly equal to 10. Matter finishes here. So let us see what happens. X is exactly equal to 10. So once this is okay, this block is executed. Let me try x is equal to 11. Now can anyone tell me that what will be the result? When I say x is equal to 11, what will happen? Can you think about the output? What will be the answer? So let me give you an answer for this. Is 11 less than 5? No, it will skip. Is 11 equal to 10? No, it will skip. Is 11 equal to 0? No, it will skip. So when all the conditions are not okay, I told you, then only the else will be executed. So it will say x is greater than 10. So let me run it. X is greater than 10. So this is what is the if conditions. So basic idea is all the conditions when false will the else will be executed. Otherwise, if any of the conditions before that is true, that particular block will be executed. For example, let me put it x is equal to 0. Then what should come? When x is equal to 0, what will be the output? This is false, this is false, this is true. So this block will be executed. Let me run it. X is less than 5. Okay, the first part is also true. X is less than 5. 0 is less than 5. So this is executed and it comes out. So that is a good learning for us. This is true, right? X is 0 is less than 5, and then x is less than 5, and then it does not come to this else part. Else if the next condition is not checked. First condition, whatever is correct, will be executed. Now, if I want to execute this x is 0, what should I do? What should I do? So let me change this condition to greater than 5, and then I execute it. It comes x is equal to 0 because the first condition is false, second condition is false, third condition is correct. That is x is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0. This is how, the first condition which is correct will be executed. That particular block is executed. If all are false, as I told you before, the else part will be executed. So this is the learning from this particular video. So if you have multiple conditions, you have to run like this. You have to use else if. And if all the conditions are false, else part will be executed. In the previous video, I told you also there is something which is indentation. If indentation is not there, like for example, if I write this, this thing is always printed because it is not part of if else if. Like before I told you in the video, this is always printed. Let's run it. Always printed. I do whatever. Previously it was 5. Again, if I run it, this if else part is changing. Always printed will always come. You can see this. If I make it 0 also, again, always printed because this is not indented. It is not indentation. There is no indentation in print. It is a regular expression and in a sequence in line number 14, the Python will always execute it. It is not part of control flow. This is not part of control statement if else. Else if is a control. We are controlling the execution of the code. But here there is no control. This is a part of sequential running. The compiler will run it code line by line because here the conditions have not to be checked. It is part of the program and there is no conditions. It is by default it will run because there is no indentation. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any doubt, you can call me or message me.